Welcome to the Halo Forge epidemic. This is Darth Human, and in this episode of Halo Forge Tips and Tricks, we're going to show you how to get unlimited vehicles. So, this glitch is pretty complicated, so bear with me. For this first part, we're going to talk about the basics behind the glitch, and then after that, we're going to talk about how to make a machine for it, and later I'll explain why. And then near the end, we're going to show you some of the maps that were created by this glitch. So, the first thing we need to cover is that this glitch does not reproduce Falcons and Revenants. As much as I'd love to have unlimited Falcons, I could think of so many games with unlimited Falcons, it cannot produce Falcons. This game uses both a modified map and game type, and first I'm going to talk about the map. You want to think the opposite. So what I mean by opposite is you got to convert your vehicle into the other faction. So that also means you cannot have both human and Covenant vehicles on the map. You can only have one. So if you want to have unlimited Warthogs, you cannot have a Ghost on the map or any other Covenant vehicle. Same applies to Covenant vehicles. If you want to have unlimited Wraiths, you cannot have unlimited tanks. So with that in mind, today we're going to try to get unlimited mongooses. So, the first thing you got to do is go under your vehicles and select a ghost. Because of that, it's a ghost converts into a mongoose. And that's what brings us to our next room. We're going to talk about what converts into what. In here, you're going to see Covenant vehicles on the top. When you go into the game type, and this is what we're going to talk about later after I show you these conversion rooms. But as you can see, it converts into human vehicles. In the game type, you're going to select human-only vehicles. And as you can see, this is what they convert into. Sadly, the Banshee does not convert into anything. If you try to make a machine, or if you try doing this on your own map, it will actually convert into nothing, and nothing will respawn in that area. But as you can see, there are still other choices you can have. You can, what we're doing right now, there's a ghost that converts into a mongoose, which is what I have set up in the other room. We have a Revenant, and that converts into a Warthog, and a Wraith converts into a tank. And that brings us to our next room, the human vehicles converting into the Covenant vehicles. Now, for some reason, since the Banshee does not convert into a Falcon, however, the Falcon can convert into a Banshee. Then you have the Mongoose, and that converts into a Ghost. And the Warthog converts into a another Ghost, and the tank converts into a Wraith. And once you have that set up, once you figure out what vehicle you want to set up, the second thing you need to do, and this is the most important step to your map, you need to set the minimum count to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, any number, as long as it's at least 1. And the way you get there is to go to Advanced, and then select Minimum Count, and then select it to any number that you want. I'm going to set it to 5. And as you can see, there's a 5x5 block right here. The reason why I put that there is because once I delete it, it will then fall from the ground and then continue to spawn from that one location. So now I'm going to show you what you have to do to the game type for this to work, and then I'm going to show you what it looks like in custom games. So like I said, you have to change an option in your game type for this glitch to work. This option is also what converts your vehicle. So what you got to do is go under Weapons and Vehicles. Under Weapons and Vehicles, go under Vehicle Set, and then switch it to the opposite of what you already have set on your map. So for example, since I'm trying to get unlimited mongooses, and since I have a ghost on the map, I want to set the vehicle set to all human. That way it'll convert to the mongoose. Once you have that set, and by the way, this works for any game type, and you can get almost any unlimited vehicles for anything. So what I did here in this test room is I actually have more than just a mongoose. I have unlimited Warthogs and unlimited tanks. So yeah, this is what it looks like. As you can see, there's an endless spawn of mongooses, Warthogs, and tanks. I gotta point out though, this is a bit unstable because it will not stop spawning until it gets to the top, like what you see with this tower of tanks right here. So as you can see, there's a lot of lag. So that's what I mean by unstable. It will lag the game terribly. Now normally you can drive away with a small vehicle like a Warthog or a Ghost or a Mongoose, but with larger vehicles like the Wraith and the tank, things tend to get a little glitchy with them, especially the Wraith. So what you want to do is actually make a machine that teleports the vehicle away from that one spot, because what would normally happen with a small vehicle is when you drive away, it would instantly spawn right behind you, and that would be okay. But with the larger vehicles, since you're slower, when you try to drive away, sometimes they will spawn inside you, you'll start flipping. Lots of bad things can happen when you try to mess with the large vehicles. So in this next part, I'm going to show you how to make a machine that will stabilize the spawning of the large vehicles that will allow you to have unlimited tanks and wraiths without any problems during your game. So what you see here is the machine that I was talking about. This is what your machine will eventually turn out to be. It can handle both wraiths and tanks. It fixed most glitches, and this is something I've been working on or developing for the past 3 months, so I can give you guys something that's simple enough and that can prevent most of the problems and glitches that normally would come with this. So the first thing you need to do is to make sure that you have, well, of course, you have your spawn point set. And what I normally do, just to make sure there aren't any problems, and I do this with almost all my games, because this problem seems to pop up every now and then, but I'd put a respawn zone, and what this does is it forces that team to always spawn in the one location no matter what. And so just set it to red team, and then there you go. No blue team will ever spawn there, and red will always spawn here. Okay, now that we got the spawning out of the way, the first thing we need to figure out is where we're going to set the box. Right here, this is just an opening of what I'm going to explain later, but this is also the very middle of what this arena is. And just so you know, yes, this is modded, but I did not mod it. I just picked up someone else's modded map and then just moved all the wall coliseums into this nice little box of mine. You may recognize it from a video I had in the past, but I took it off because it wasn't as fun. This is a whole lot more fun. But anyway, so you want to make sure that the box is above your area or the battlefield, your map, basically. The reason why that is because for some reason when the vehicles are lower, like farther even below the map, or maybe down on the water and your map is up here, the vehicles tend to flip much more often, which is what you see in a jump rope, because vehicles teleport up to the top and then they tend to flip a lot, especially with a wraith, and so you don't want that to happen. What you want to do instead is have the teleporter up here, up into the higher up in altitude, so they descend to your map. This will prevent all the flipping issues. Then you want to set your you want to figure out what vehicle you want to use here. So on this map, I'm trying to get unlimited tanks, so I gotta put a wraith on here. Yeah, here's an extra tip. I'd recommend the wraith facing the battlefield or whatever vehicle you're going to be using, because when you teleport, you're facing the right direction almost immediately. And so now that I have that set, I'm also going to show you how to build the shields. You're going to want to have shields, because the vehicles tend to flip a lot whenever it's switching host, or when a vehicle is somehow having problems or there's lag. What I mean by flipping is not really flipping, it's more overflowing. Like what you saw in the test room, the wraiths were the tanks were spawning from one central location up above into the top of the room, and here they could be spawning on the bottom and just keep piling up, overflowing the box, falling to the ground. Sadly, there is no way to prevent this. So as you can see on the other side, there's a grid. That grid catches almost all the wreckage, and so it won't cause any lag. It'll eventually stop, and then the vehicles on the grid will unspawn, and everything will be okay. But this is where the machine gets a little tricky, because you want to make sure that the debris is always launched onto this grid I'm about to set up. Because otherwise, the vehicles will just spawn, land on the spawns back here, cause problems, bury people, whatnot. But anyway, so the wraith just blew up there, so that's not helpful. So I'll just move on to this other part. Get a short, medium, shield door medium, and that's about good enough as you want. But as you can see, the vehicle, they move when they touch a shield. So when I move this back, the vehicle moves back, and that ruined my demonstration, so I'm going to start a new round. I need to switch teams.
Over.
But anyway, so as you can see, the shield moves the vehicle, and what you want to do is aim it about, I'd say about 30 degrees, about right there. You don't want it at this, you don't want it pointing downwards, you want it pointing slightly upwards, just like that, and then move it down. And the reason why I have a tank here is because you want to be able to know what your map will look like when you start the map, because since you're setting it to human vehicles only, they're going to change into this tank, and so you don't know exactly where the tank is going to be unless you have this set. And here's another little extra tip of how you can figure out where they're going to spawn. So what you want to do is move the tank where you want your tanks to spawn, and then once you get that set there, I'm having some shield problems. You want to make sure the depth or the width, wherever they're facing, is the same as the Wraith. So I'll just set the tank to 2.9, and then you go over here to your Wraith and move that to 2.9, and so when you start your game, the Wraith will spawn just like the way the tank is spawned right here. So the treads will be into the front, and there you go. The tank will be in the spot that you want. So back to the shield. Move it down, and this is where also the tank can be even more useful. If you move it down, you'll see it's bumping. That's not good. You do not want it to bump. That will cause a lot of problems. But if you move it just right about this height, right now it's set to 58.2, if there's ever a tank that spawns on top of the other, it will just push right off, right onto the grid, and everything will be fine. And my tank just unspawned, so I'm just going to go ahead and make my other shield. And you do the exact same thing over here, same height, same depth, and let's just go back here to double check. 58.2, 2.1, 2.1, 58.2. So there you go. You have identical shields. And there is our tank. There we go. Delete the tank. Go to vehicles. Go to your Wraith. Go put it back. Make sure that it's at 2.8. I think it was at 2.8. Am I right? Nope, it was at 2.9. And there you go. And also make sure, remember the most important step is to make sure your minimum count is at least 1, 2, whatever number. I'm going to put it to 4, because I always do. Put it at the max. It just helps. So, there you go. You have your... the vehicles will spawn on top of each other. If they ever have a problem, and they do so, they'll just fall into the grid, and everything will be okay. And they'll actually unspawn on the grid, so you won't have any lag issues. You might have small lag issues at first, usually after it switches host, because it tends to do it almost all the time when it switches host. But after about like 30 seconds, everything returns to normal, and you'll be just fine. So the second, also you need to set these shields here so people don't jump off for some reason. Just put it there so they don't even think about it. And this is more optional than necessary. And there you go. So once you got that set, you already have your box all set. The next thing you want to do is set a soft kill barrier. That's under spawning and kill area, soft kill. There you go. You use that. But I'm a little bit more tactical with this, so just you can use soft kill. You'll understand what I mean in a little bit. But we go to the safe area, safe soft, and it's just the same thing. It just means anything outside the safe barrier will count down. And what I'm doing right here is in this entire box area, it's inside an entire safe area, soft safe, and the same thing over there on the spawns. And so anything leaving these safe areas, so if someone decides to somehow get outside the map, get on the grid, go in the water, go on an island for whatever reason, they'll just die eventually and will spawn back here. So But there's actually a greater reason why I have this safe haven, or if you want to set up your soft kill barrier in this one spot, and which I'll show you how to do in a little bit. But what I'm trying to show you here is you want to make sure that when people get near the Wraith, it'll count down. So they'll be leaving the battlefield. And the reason why you want that is because the vehicles will not spawn back instantly if someone is standing near it. So if, for say, I'm standing right here and the Wraith spawns back, well, the Wraith, you know, someone gets in the Wraith or the tank, I go away, and I'm standing right here, it will not spawn back. And I can be a nuisance to everyone, and I can just stand there all day, and someone else can partner up with me and stand right here, and there you go. We broke the game, and we're being douches. And people hate that. So to prevent that, let's just put a soft kill barrier here, so when they leave the soft barrier, they'll, you know, the countdown will start, and they'll have to get in the vehicle, otherwise they'll die. And yeah. Or, you know, you can do the simple way of just having a soft kill barrier, put it right here, go to box, you know, raise the width, you know, length all the way. You understand what I mean. You just don't want people to be standing there all day, otherwise it'll cause problems. So, there you go. You have most of your machine already built, and you got your respawn zone here. Make sure everyone spawns here, and you have the Wraiths, the shields, protecting everything. Now, one last step, and this is the most important step. Well, there's a lot of important steps, but this one is significantly important. You got to have your teleporter. Make sure the teleporter channel is different on each side. So for this side, the red team side, I'm going to set it to alpha, and on the blue side, it will be set to Bravo. And since you're allowed 12 teleporters, you can have one center node in the box on both sides. That leaves you with 10 extra teleporters, and that means you can have 5 spawn points on each side, which is what I have set here. As you can see, there are 5 receiver nodes spread across in the back area back here. This is literally where the tanks or the players will spawn. It's usually random, usually. It's the best I can get, sadly, but it works. So that's all that matters. But anyway, back to the teleporter. Make sure it's right up against the ground. You know, extend it, put it into a box if you want. Make sure that the teleporter is set to players false, heavy vehicles true, and or land vehicles, whatever. Heavy vehicles, because they're heavy vehicles. Extend it, and I don't know why I set it up to the edge right here. Just it's for a good reason, but I'm not going to tell you because it's a secret. So you just widen that up, and there you go. When they get in their vehicle, they teleport to one of those locations, and you're done. And that's how you make your machine. So let's go ahead and check that out in custom games and see what it looks like. And I'm also going to show you a few other maps that go well with the unlimited vehicle glitch. Also, each game type and map will have a download link, so you can go ahead and download them in the link below. But for this first one, I'm going to go ahead and show you the one I just made. And here it is. This map is called the Tank Game. This game type right here is going to be called Tank SpeedPile. I also have this game set up for King the Hill and Team Slayer, and I'll also have download links for those two. But as you can see here, the machines are working just fine. The soft kill barrier is working just fine. Once you go right into the tank, you're instantly teleported, and here you go. This is the map. I really like this game type for this map, honestly. For any of you who have ever played SpeedPile in the Action Stack before, it's actually pretty fun. It's on large maps. It's basically people get in vehicles and try to ride towards the center before the other team does, get the flag, and then bring it to their side. And it's also a very useful game type because you can actually pick up the flags while you're in the vehicle. So you can just ride your tank right over there, pick it up, and then drive it to your side. Let's go ahead and check out some of these other games. This next one is going to be called Jump Rope Wraiths Only. And as you can see, it's jump rope, but with only Wraiths. It uses the same machine as I explained before. It's set up slightly different. Instead of having 2 boxes, since we're only having 1 team up here, they're all in the same room. You still have your teleporter, Still have your shields pointing at the Wraiths so they shoot out on top of the grid. And I also added these columns which help keep the Wraith in shape. But this map is just, it's brutal. The rounds, I changed the game type so it'll make it a little bit more balanced, but it's pretty much a kill zone. I mean, look at this. I mean, I don't think anyone can survive this many flying Wraiths legitimately. But yeah, I'll go ahead and put this down in the description below for you guys to download. It's definitely fun to watch and play for a few times. So let's go ahead and move on to the next map. This next map was actually not made by me. It was made by Yo I'm Niggles. The map is Hog Hallway and the game type is Hog Run. And as you can see, Niggles here, instead of giving each player their own vehicle, he's actually taking advantage of this unlimited vehicle glitch and transformed it into an obstacle course. And this isn't lagging his game, by the way, because he's using the Halo Ball game type. And for those of you who've played Landslide, Avalanche, when the objects hit the bottom and they, go into the soft kill barrier or kill barrier, they reset, and that's exactly what he has set up here. So there is an unlimited flow of all these Warhogs, and it's not lagging the game at all. It works the same as any other obstacle course game. You just get to the end, score a point, and whoever ends up with the most points wins. There you go. That's how you create unlimited vehicles. I hope you guys are inspired enough to make something out of this. Again, the download links are below. You can download any maps you've seen. I do plan to actually come out with more videos like this, including how to create a Halo Ball goal. All the deep water locations are on Forge World. I have plenty of other ideas. Oakley will continue to make his aesthetic videos, but I just want to let you guys know that we actually don't have much time, especially with school starting up. We're not getting paid anything for all this, and we have jobs, we have family, and it's really frustrating for a lot of us because we want to do more for you guys, but we just do not have the resources or the support. But I do have hope for the future, and I'm really grateful for your support. And this is the Halo Forge Epidemic, and this is Darth Human, and I am signing out.